A way of life. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. Just wanted to come on here to do a continuation of the careers that I spoke about in my new moon in Aquarius video. Um, I don't think I posted the video, so I'll post the link down below if you want to hear that first. But I'm just going to jump right in and go kind of by planet and sign. So, starting with Taurus and Uranus. Um, Taurus is an earth sign. It's about food, beauty, fashion, and money. So, Uranus rules Aquarius, which rules the 11th house. And 11th house is about groups of friends, groups of people, groups you belong to that have a common um, interests. Um, I think we're gonna see a lot more changes in like growing food, um, cooking. We'll grow our own food, but like in groups. So they already kind of have these small locations where you can go to grow your food. Like if you didn't have that ability to do that where you lived, they provide space for you. I think that's gonna grow bigger. Um, you'll see more locations of where you can grow your own food. That's also a good business to get into, and getting a job within that field. Um, Fashion, makeup, that's obviously going to change somehow. You can already see the apps, right? Because Uranus also rules technology, science. Um, you'll you already kind of see the apps that they have that provide you a face with makeup. Stuff like that is going to grow bigger in some kind of way that change your appearance. We'll share money differently. We already do, kind of. I mean, really. Um, with the apps, you can invest online or through the apps. You can share money through apps. And now they have this app where you can get your paycheck before your payday. Um, you can already see that that is gonna change the dynamics of how work pays you, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know. I just know that that dynamic alone is definitely going to change the work dynamic. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know somehow, some way, that's going to change. Um, but it's going to help us do things smarter, different, smarter. Remember, Aquarius is a very unconventional sign. So, um, and it's for the people. It represents the people. So it'll be better for us. It'll probably suck for people who employ people, which on the other note, the other side to that is entrepreneurship is going to grow tremendously, and it's going to help the people. It's going to be an opportunity for the people to grow. So really be open minded to the possibilities of things that you can do. Don't close your mind off to it. These changes are coming. So um, also, when it comes to groups of people, I feel like apartment buildings, I don't know if it'll grow necessarily, um, but they're gonna change in some kind of way. Like maybe they'll conduct themselves more like condos. So you'll have bigger fees, but you'll also reap the benefits of that, right? Like I feel like the communities will change in such so okay, so say if you lived in a building, so they'll add more services like that's where you go for your daycare, or like how they have these smaller nonprofits where you go to get your services. I feel like that's going to change in the way where it'll become more like a community to that building. So if you think about it, it'll expand the business, right? Because right now you only have one location where you can go within a, I don't know, 100-mile radius, right? I'm making it up. And then, another 5 or 6 blocks away, you might run into a different location that will serve a 100-mile radius. But if you think about it, it'll bring more jobs if they were to put them in each building as a community service, right? Well, we're starting to see a lot of that in Boston right now. I don't know how many people are from Boston or, um, have seen this type of thing before, but I think this is going to grow bigger. The idea of having your community home as a one-stop shop where you go to get all your services, and um, you'll be able to do your growing there, right? Some places will include all of those things. It'll be all encompassing, like I said, like a condo. Like they'll make the changes to the living space as opposed to what the people want. I don't know why when I think of this kind of stuff, I think of the video game that you can kind of create your own little town. Maybe you'll get paid for creating um, your town. I'm just saying. Look, it might sound crazy, but I feel like these possibilities are growing into more, and they're going to become a bigger possibility, a reality at some point. This is the age of Aquarius. This is what we're growing into, or moving into as people. And it's not going to be easy for everybody to kind of accept that idea, but you will see a rise in entrepreneurship for that. I mean, if you think of all the different kind of community buildings that they have in one city, and turning that, and it's going to create more jobs and more opportunities for people to grow. Like, how many people do you know live somewhere and don't really get much done because they got to travel a distance? And I mean, that's a sad ass excuse not to get something done, but nonetheless, it's an excuse, and people are using it, and because of that, they're not growing. If you change the dynamics of the system and how things work, it provides a better opportunity for people. And it's just something to think about, right? So, you'll be able to there'll be more opportunities for management supervision, or supervisory jobs, and, the smaller tasks that need to be done within those positions. What else? I think in the first video I talked about, like, the brick and mortar is going to be diminishing, right? So if you think about, like the smaller Dunkin' Donuts locations that I was talking about, where you can go just for the delivery, I also feel like there'll be more opportunities as they grow for you to own that smaller location. Like, what employer is going to employ just one person? Or, maybe it's 10 people to cover a week's full of shifts. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's feasible, it's doable, but I just feel like, with that being said, it might turn into the possibility for it to turn into something that you own yourself. um, you'd have to do a lot of goddamn work, but nonetheless, I just feel like that opportunity is there for people to have that as something that they own and can build and make money off of. Um, what else? So we also have, I spoke about in the first video how we have Gemini. Um, Mercury is going to be the mass indicator of a lot of the jobs that are going to be shifting. And Gemini in the third house, I feel like we're going to be prepared meals, grocery shopping, on delivery, even with maybe droids, delivery by drones. What are they called? I don't know. Drones. Um, I think that possibility is going to grow, or it's just going to become more popular. Um, Transportation, public transportation is going to grow more. Uber is going to grow more. I feel like people are going to um, remember, Taurus is in Uranus. Taurus is an earth sign. So it's condensing the way we use our services to be more smarter. It rules money. So you're going to save smarter. Um, do what you have to do to get to a better place. And in saying that, we need to condense our services in some kind of way. And cars are expensive. Not to mention, it causes a lot of traffic. Not to mention, even on a grander scale, we are um, pollution is very real, and Aquarius is very much going to be on top of that. So Uranus playing a role in that is going to say, hey, look, if we can all do public transportation, or just allow people who have Uber, who are able to do Uber, who want to do Uber, have them run the services so you can get to it. It's going to lessen that possibility of pollution. The more we condense things, the better we can grow to build more electric cars. And, also for the ability for people to have the opportunity to get electric cars, right? They're expensive right now. Nobody can afford that. So, the challenges coming to the wants and needs. Remember, we're still in that Cancer Capricorn energy right now. And so we're really infighting, or what this new moon really is doing is making us, it's activating the, how can we work smarter to get to where we need to be for a better living type of thing. So, the more we condense our travel somehow, um, it'll allow for us to grow into something bigger. I paused because I wanted to say what really got me thinking about this was Alexa. Alexa is the direct challenger to all of this. Everybody eventually is going to want Alexa. Um, she's going to be the competition. How she's going to be the motivating force to how we can all get Alexa. Like right now, anybody who has Alexa, like there's a certain wavelength that she works on. She's not connected to everything yet. It's still kind of new. And you can see this in like the sell for it, and what the hell is it? I think it's only one car. I'm not a car person, but you could see the commercials for it, where you can kind of control everything through like I don't know if it's like a watch or something, or like they have the security system. I think that's through Comcast, where you can kind of do everything remotely. Like you don't have to be within your vicinity to kind of get things going. That's Alexa, right? So it doesn't work on everything yet. I don't know what the freaking name of that car is that they're promoting for it right now, where you can kind of start your car from anywhere. Or, oh, you think you forgot to roll up your windows, and you have the ability to roll up your windows. But eventually everybody's going to want that. So how do we condense our services, our whatever, so that we can make that more affordable for everybody to get? How do we make more smarter lights, right? Because I think Alexa only works with I don't know, are they like LED lights? I don't know what she would connect to. I don't know anything about technology. I just know that she's only connected to a certain portal right now. It's not everything. So how can we make our houses more smarter so we can all have Alexa? So that's going to kind of be, she's going to be the motivating force to those kinds of changes within our living space, in our cars. And then I think Mercury also rules Virgo. Virgo rules the sixth house, and that's about pets, animals, health, and our day to day work routine. So somehow, some way, this area of life is going to change, right? Like we might not go to work every day. We might work more from home. Um, or like I said, we'll do public transportation more, or we'll travel more. Like right now, outside of an astrologer, what I do on the side, I'm a career coach, and right now we're moving to a smaller space. Kind of like it kind of reminds me of like WeWorks, but it's like all the time, right? But what we'll be doing is outsourcing our services, kind of like condensing it, right? And having it on the go, and we'll travel to different nonprofits and organizations with our product, teaching it to other people. So I'm out, like right now, I'm out on the road a lot. I'm almost never in the office. Um, so there'll be more of that kind of stuff going on to places where it's relevant. Um, uh, Jobs and healthcare. And I think I talked a little bit more about this in the first video of how that's going to grow. But I just wanted to add additionally how, again, going back to the commercials where you start to see they're already selling this idea that you can get prescriptions cheaper now. Everybody knows drugs is a those prescription drugs is a very huge field, and it's a huge moneymaker. um, that's going to change the dynamic of how they work. Um, if you can get an app that's easy enough to help you change the price that you would normally pay, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, eventually, somehow, some way, they're going to have to change how they work. Um, so I feel like, those will also be delivered at some point. You will not have to walk into a place unless you absolutely have to. But I still feel like, all that stuff eventually is going to go to delivery. Um, or, a traveling nurse. You'll become a traveling nurse where you work, you go to people's home to give healthcare services. Um, or become, a home care. And they kind of already have that, but it's only right now for the elderly or like mental people with mental health issues, or disabilities, right? Because they can't leave the home. But I feel like that's going to grow into the norm for everybody. Again, that we are going to condense our brick and mortar. So buildings, um, if they can find a way to, that they where they don't need them, they're going to, you know, do away with it. So I feel like healthcare is going to become more home based, or will be more natural. Like with the planting, being able to plant our own food. We'll eat more naturally, more healthily. Health again, and I think I did say this in the first video, is going to be really, really. That's going to come up a lot this year, our health. I think the rate of our health has grown in a pretty tremendous way. Did I post this video? I think I was watching something on Brother Rich's show about these shots and stuff. It's crazy. Um, but our knowledge within that, we're going to start working differently, and really learning how to take care of our own needs, as parents, right? And when I say needs, healthcare needs specifically, maybe I should post that video. I'm gonna post it so you can see it. I think it's very important, and it says a lot to where we're going, moving into this age of Aquarius. Um, On call will become more popular. If you don't know what on call is, it's, you could be at home chilling, living your whole best life. Something comes up, you either have a pager or, they call you or email you, probably by text now, and say, hey, you're needed at such and such time at certain location. um, Data analyst. I think I talked about that in the first video. I don't know why emissions tests came up. I feel like emissions test is only relatable to cars, but I know somehow, some way in my brain, it's something. It goes to something else. I just can't think of what that name is, but like somehow, some way, emissions test is going to be important to that factory part of like the food, and the cooking piece, or just like the machines that we use, right? How do you test them, and all that stuff, which brings me to some of the other jobs that are going to become important, inspections. Um, Having your place of work, factories inspected, that's probably going to grow a great deal. Um, Computer tech, a lot of the background jobs. So when I think of inspections too, I also think of the specific smaller pieces that they are inspecting. Those jobs, whatever they are, that's going to grow. There'll be a lot more positions within those fields than they are like with customer service anymore. Like customer service might be completely taken over by digitally. So, oh, and back to the health. They even have the commercials now where you can get your dentist your braces delivered to you. So that's also some kind of computer science, computer technology, where they'll probably have you do certain things, and then they can come up with a structure for your mouth and send that out to you. I mean, who would have thought, right? That's going to change the dentist industry. Um, what else? Oh, and I was talking. Um, I was talking a little bit about how relationships is going to change in my part one video of this. And just to take it a little bit deeper, we'll work together in relationships differently. We'll move towards working in groups, more by way of building communities. I said polygamy might become really more mainstream, right? Because it's there, right? I think it's illegal, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be. Remember, Aquarius is unconventional. Um, and this energy is for the people. So if that's something that works for people, I am almost positive polygamy will become mainstream at some point. Um, the LGBT, is it LGBT? I know there were a few other ones that were added. Please forgive me. I don't know what they are exactly, but that population, it's not so much that it's going to grow, but it's going to become more mainstream. In fact, I am really strongly almost positive that they're going to be the headliners of a lot of these changes. I don't know how. I don't know what role specifically, but somehow, some way, they're going to become front and center in some part of this. You have to remember, Aquarius is a very open sign. They are extremely flamboyant. That is the energy of the LGBT. So, odd couples. Aquarius is the weird, very kind of aloof, out there sign. I think we'll see more odd couples, like tall, short. Aquarium rules aliens. I'm just saying, it's just, people are going to look differently together. Somehow, some way, it's going to change. um, Especially once Pluto moves into Aquarius, which will be in 2021. This is going to become even bigger. So the challenges are going to be around people who have problems with these types of people. Racism is going to be huge. Um, People might feel slighted if LGBT take over, knowing that, quote unquote African American people also experience some discrimination, but it might seem as if they're being slighted somehow. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna fly. This kind of energy doesn't care about color. It is completely spiritual. They don't care about race, creed, color, any of that. So those things are going to diminish. And if you struggle with these types of things, this is going to be a hard transition for you. Um, Tapping into your darker side. Remember, Pluto rules um, the underworlds. You are going to have to understand language differently. You're going to have to get to the truth. You're going to have to search your deepest, darkest desires. You are going to have to get comfortable with those types of things in order to know yourself better, so your true self can come out. And these things don't seem so big. They become very small in this kind of way. And that's going to be really hard for a lot of people. So anyways, I am really excited about this. I hope this information was helpful. Peace.